Good morning everyone and welcome back to the Nest Kibby channel and a huge warm welcome to all the newcomers. We've got over 300 followers now, which is super exciting for me, and I'm really thanking each and every one of you. Today what we're doing is a test on the Born This Way foundation. As you know, TooFaced has been one of my favorite brands. I love using TooFaced. I find that their products are high quality. I find that eyeshadows are high pigmentation. I find that their setting powder works beautifully over foundation. The one thing I can never make work for me is the foundation from TooFaced. It slips and slides everywhere. So today we're going to try out the Born This Way foundation, and I'm going to see if I can actually get it to work on my face. I popped into Mecca and got a sample pot. So without much further ado, let's get started. So just recently in my level 3 beauty loop box from Mecca, I received this primer, the Hangover Primer from TooFaced. And while I was in there yesterday, I picked up a sample pot of the TooFaced Born This Way foundation. So I thought what I'll do is I'll give it a go using the TooFaced primer, using the TooFaced foundation, using the TooFaced concealer and setting powder, and I'll see if I can make it work this time. The time is currently 8:40 and I'm going to place this on my face and we'll see how we go. I'll give you my first impressions of how it works for my skin. I'm going to take a bit of the primer, just squeeze some out on my finger, and then I'm just going to press this into my face. Oh, it's got a lovely scent and it's really not thick like a primer that normally is. It's actually quite light on the skin. A bit more on my forehead. It's got a scent, but it's not a powering over nasty scent. I don't mind it. Pot. So here in Australia, we can go into Mecca and ask for any product as a sample pot, and they'll give you a little sample pot to try for maybe 1 or 2 applications, and then whether you like it or not, you can purchase the product. So I'm going to just start popping it on my face. It's tricky to find the right colour at the moment because they're not sort of colour matching. But I shouldn't complain because here in Australia we've been really lucky. Now from what I understand, a little goes a long way, so I've probably just gone way overboard with that. But let's get this is a Mecca Beauty Bullet and it's wet, and I'm just going to press that all through the skin, bouncing on top of the skin to blend it all in. So what you hear, I've said this before, but what you're doing here is you're tapping it so that it's sitting on top of the skin and you're not rubbing it into the skin. You want your foundation to settle on top of the skin because the primer is for going into the skin and the foundation is for covering any blemishes on the skin. Well, what I'm first noticing is it's quite a nice consistency. Actually, that was quite a good colour match for my face. It's not the fullest coverage I thought it would be. There is a blemish still here that's coming through a little bit. And there's certainly things that you can see through. I can certainly see. So I wouldn't say it's a full coverage foundation. Maybe it's buildable. So I might just give it a little minute to settle and go with a little bit more in those places where I feel I need a little bit more foundation. So I'll just put some foundation up sort of through here and a little bit on my lip, a bit more up sort of through here. Blend that in to see if it's buildable. Ah, yeah, that's better. Yep. that blended it in quite nicely and covered up those blemishes quite well. So certainly buildable. Into my ears to make sure it all seamlessly blends into my face, down my neck. Okay, so now I'm just going to put the Born This Way concealer on my eyes. This is in the colour Snow, and just so that we can keep in theme of the Born This Way stuff, I'm using the Born This Way concealer so that I give it the very best chance to work properly. I'm going to bring it through and under in here and up here, under the eyes and down through. I'm going to run it down the nose as well. My Cupid's bow, a little bit on my chin because I want a little bit of lighting up, and here. So this way it's going to bring all my face together. This time I'm going to use the pointy side and I'm going to get right up under my eye, and I'm just going to conceal in those spots that need a bit of extra concealing. They blended out nicely, really nicely. They work really well together. The Born This Way TooFaced concealer with the Born This Way TooFaced foundation. As you can see, it's really seamlessly blended together, and it looks really nice on the skin. I'm just going to put a bit of contour down my side of my cheeks. A bit under my chin, and a little bit at the top. Just going to blend that all in. Yeah, so that's actually blending out really well with the Shape Tape concealer that I'm using just for this. It's working quite well. And now I'm going to bake under my eyes because, to be fair, that's what I normally do. So I'm going to use the TooFaced Born This Way translucent powder, again in the range Born This Way. So they all should work pretty well together because they've all come from the same range. Just going to roll this under my eye. Roll this under my eye. I'm going to wait for 30 seconds. Okay, so now that we've waited for about 3 to 4 minutes, I'm going to lightly dust off that bake, and then I'm just going to tap it into the skin with the powder. Okay, I'm going to zoom in close and show you so that you can see. I do still have a couple of things peeking through, but that really doesn't bother me. So I wouldn't say it's full coverage. I'd say it's medium to full coverage. A few little things peeking through, but it's not slipping or sliding yet. So I'm going to go off camera, get the rest of my makeup done, and then I will come back on camera and show you the final results. I've got a few errands, so I'll pop in throughout the day just to give you an update on how it's settling on my face. Okay. So I'm about to go out and about. I've got some errands to run today, but I will be popping in regularly and showing you just how the foundation is looking. The time right now is 10 past 10 in the morning, so it's been on from 8:40, an hour and a half, and so far so good, but I'll let you know what I think in the coming hours. See you. So I've had it on for about 6 hours now. It is starting to break up over my nose, which is what I always find with my TooFaced foundation, unfortunately. So if I bring you right in here, you can see how it's starting to break up a little bit on my nose and over on this side. Chin looks good. Cheeks look great. Nothing's happening on the forehead. It's just that breaking up on the nose. I'll see how it goes for the next few hours. So I'm just in the car waiting for the boys. It's 3:27 to be exact. Looking at my foundation, it's creased a little bit where I wear my sunglasses, but most foundations do. But it's looking really broken up a little bit on my chin now. Good evening, everyone. It's now 7:08, so the foundation's been on for 11 hours now. It's really starting to break up on my chin now. I've almost lost it all on my nose, and it's really starting to break up on my forehead, as you can see. So I guess final impressions are, I would have loved it to be a bit more full coverage, but it definitely was buildable, so that was a positive. But for me, I just don't think it's right for my skin type for some reason. It just doesn't work for me. And that's actually what I find with a lot of the TooFaced foundations. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll try the peach one and see how I go with that one. You guys have a great night.